Welcome. It's your boy Twinsinc, and this is Twinsinc Talk. On this podcast here, we'll be talking about all subject matters. Nothing's off the table. We try to keep the facts, be respectful to one another. Just get that real dialogue that some people are scared to give you or won't give you, or to give you half-baked information. So once again, thank you for tuning in Twinsinc, and let's rock. Good morning, everyone. How everybody's doing today? I hope everybody's having a great day on this rainy day. So as y'all see the topic. So first off, good morning. Hope everybody's doing good. Thanks for tuning in. So this morning, if you haven't heard, there's a new application app called the Clubhouse. And honestly, the application is a very dope application because you can go into a group of people that you may not know, but if you see the topic and like, hey, this might be something I want to jump into. So anyway, long story short, I jump into the app, and the conversation for the day was the Black agenda. And I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to jump in and listen to this because other people be talking about a bunch of foolishness, whatever. So when I jump in the app and listen to what's going on. It's definitely black people in there, and not just Americans, Africans, everybody from all over, but black people talking about the Black agenda. Now, there's a lot of great things being said during this conversation. A lot of good, a lot of bad, whatever, indifference. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, their thoughts, their feelings, whatever. Also, if you want to interact with me directly, I'm on YouTube. I'm streaming on Instagram as well. If everybody's on Instagram, but I am live on YouTube. So if you want to chat in, ask questions, go to YouTube, Twinsinc. Just like that, Twinsinc. That's where I'm at. That's where I be. But anyway, so let's get into the topic. So, there was I can't think of everybody's name because there's a lot of people in the chat. But the ladies it was definitely led by the ladies in the room, which was not a problem with me at all. But the ladies were explaining the Black agenda is the topic. So how Black Americans, people who are Black who live in America, who is really impacted on the things that's happened to in America. How we're constantly dealing with the system racism, police, everything across the board, and which she was speaking fast because it is what it is, and that we need to come together as a whole so we can really bring something to the table, or how we can not demand change. Well, demand change, because that's what it comes down to. We if we want to do it better, we have to demand something, right? We had the Black Lives Matter movement. We had the contract with America. The Ice Cube was pushing all that good stuff. Cool. So there's a lot of things that was said, and I was trying to chime in to get my thoughts on the things, but my phone audio wouldn't work when I hit the microphone button to talk. It wouldn't let me talk. So I'm sitting there like, I'm going crazy because I want to rebuttal and say things back what people were saying in the chat. So there was a guy in there. He was from Africa. He didn't say which part, but he's from Africa, right? And I'll tell everybody this. Being ignorant is no longer an excuse. It's 2020 going into 2021. You have the resources to search and research things that you're talking about and know what's going on in the world, especially in America with the Black community. This gentleman had the nerve to say that, times have changed from, when we had the Black Wall Street, when, where at that time frame, Black people didn't have enough rights or anything to try to come back what happened. If you don't know what happened to Black Wall Street, and you look it up, you should know. But it was a Black community ran by Black people, Black banks, Black everything that you own, pretty much our own Wakanda in America that we was funding ourselves for us by us. FUBU. I love you guys. But at the end of the day, what happened was white people, racism, they came and bombed and killed it and destroyed the whole thing, right? So this guy was saying that, that happened so long time ago, and they can't do that stuff now. One, he's wrong right there. I mean, it's 2020, and let's be clear. Flint, Michigan, right, that has not clean water, is highly populated of Black people right now. And as of right now, they still do not have clean water. People are dying because they can't drink water. And if you know, the body needs water to survive. Point blank, period. Just simple as that, right? Even with the constitutional rights in America, when you look at the Amendment 13, we as black people, we're still not people, compared to the white people in America. That's still there. That has not been removed out the constitutional rights. So, and then he said that, well, you guys are making an excuse. We're not making an excuse. We're in a system that's not for us, not built for us. Now, we might have put the blood, sweat, and tears to build America up, but they don't care about us when it comes to that point. So when he was saying those things, talking about, oh, we black people, we got the excuses. I'm from Africa. I grew up in this area with a war zone, and I believe that he might came from a location where it was a war zone. I understand that, but one thing that when I say we is black, we cannot compare someone's trauma to your own personal trauma. You can't say, oh, I grew up in the area where it was being bombed and all this and all that, and you black people in America, y'all got it good. That would be the most ignorant thing to say. Yes, you had trauma. I acknowledge that. But you can't pit anyone else's trauma above the trauma. See, the problem that why we Americans and black people can't come together, we can't even come together to understand that racism is still a problem, that it exists. This man had the nerve to say that, oh, that's back in the day. Well, it's not back in the day, because the 60s is not that long ago. My mom was born in 1962. I'm just saying. It's not that long. My dad was born in 1950. It's not too long ago. I'm just saying. 80s baby, though. But, and then he made a statement about how, I want to say, you say Mexicans or a different race, different culture, how they are able to come together, put the money together, and then how they can, they can work together to build up their communities and all that good stuff, which is true. The reason why us black Americans have that problem, because one, we're put in situations where we don't have the resources to where we can take additional money and put together and formulate a plan to move forward to make our communities better. That's number one. Number two, we don't have the education and knowledge to do that. Once again, this education system is not built from us or for us. It's based on information that they want to give our kids to learn and information they got to deal with growing up. It's not something that black people put together. So when you look at it systematically, the system is against black people. But we need to understand that is a problem. But when we all sit at the table and try to figure out a plan and how to come together, we cannot dismiss someone's trauma compared to your trauma. We can't dismiss that we are living the days of that blacks are still being attacked. I mean, today is right before the pagan holiday Christmas, right? And if not yesterday, the day before, 2 days before Christmas, or 3 days before Christmas, an Ohio black man just got shot and killed in the driveway. Had a cell phone. The cops said, hey, put your hands up. Less than 10 seconds. Listen, if it's dark and at nighttime and you mind your business in the comfort of your home or a friend's home, and somebody run up on you real quick and start screaming, you're like, whoa, what's going on? It's going to take you a minute to register with what's really going on. I'll give you an example. We all done this. If you're in your house walking and you hit your toe off the table, as soon as you hit it, you don't feel that pain right away. But in a second, as that pain travels from the bottom of your foot, up your leg, past your knee, to your thigh, to your stomach, chest, up to your neck, and that pain, then it hits you. Now, it's much quicker than that, but the point I'm trying to make, it takes time for the body to recognize what has happened. Just like somebody pull a gun on you, talking about freeze, you're like, oh, the dude shot him. So once again, right before the holiday season, right, everybody puts around their friends and family. The man may have kids, may not have kids, whatever, but someone's son is no longer here now because of a cop who was supposed to be scared for his life, shot and killed an unarmed black man. So yes, today, 2020, December, before 2021 hit, We still are dealing with black racism, the system against us, and there's no accountability for when stuff like that happens. So we all seen it plenty of times. They'll go to court. First, they'll get suspended with pay. They go to court. Oh, before you get to court, they'll start looking up. Oh, well, this guy had this felony back in 1987 when he took a Snickers bar out of a store. So yeah, he's a thug. He deserved it. That's the narrative that he paint of us, and that's something that we're fighting against every day. The lady in the Clubhouse was having a conversation. She was talking about a situation that not too long ago. She went to the store with her grandkids. They went shopping. A white man, skinhead dude ran up to her and spit in the face, because she was just a black woman, and all the kids were hers by one husband. So it was one family. So it wasn't like she was a woman that's sleeping around with many men, but husband's probably working, whatever the case may be. But the point I'm making is that till this day now, we are still dealing with the trauma of what's going on. You have to understand that when you have over 300 years plus of mental slavery, mental abuse, physical abuse over decades, yes, those things need to be addressed. We as black people, we need we need counseling. Point blank period. I don't care what it is. There's trauma that's there, and that's why we can't come together for an agenda. Then also the guy said in the chat room talking about, oh, well, if you black fathers were around and raising your kids, man, I wish I could have talked to that man. I really wanted to talk to him, but I couldn't because the phone would not let me. I was pressing the audio button when we talked, but how dare you? Just because you came from Africa and we're here in America, how dare you going to imply that? Now, granted, there's most men out there who are not, but not all men. But the point I'm trying to make is, how dare you try to blame what's going on black people? Over 300 years of trauma that people have been through, and of course, there's people out there who's got past it, who's working through it, who's better people now. But the fact is, the trauma is still there. And on top of that, the system, once again, we're back to the system. He talked about, the system has changed. That's so long time ago. Once again, the system has been designed since 1980s that the woman benefits more when the man's out the house. Point blank period. Those are the facts. If you don't know, look it up. We've been talking about this now for a couple weeks now. If you listen to the top team, see right there, the top team. That's my other podcast with my homie, Seth the Dark Child. Shout out to you, brother. But we talk about these conversations all day, and we don't speak on the emotion. We speak on facts. And we challenge you to do the research, because at the end of the day, for us, the community, blacks, to come together to be better as one, it has to start at home. It needs to start with the kids, because our youth is the next generation to make America better or make the black community better, whatever case may be. And the man had the nerve to say, oh, we see a bunch of millionaires. You got NBA players, you got rappers, and all that stuff. I said, yes, we have those, but those still a small percentage. Let's break it down all the way down. When you think about an NBA player, right? I'm not sure off the top of my head. I want to say it's 2017's NBA. I got to look it up. I'm not sure. Forgive me, my fellas. I'm big in NBA player, but I can't think of the team on top of my head. But let's just say this. Let's just say this. In the NBA, there's about, let's say, 30 teams, right? I'm sure it could be less or more, but let's just say it's 30 teams, right? Your chance to make it to the NBA is slim. The reason why I say it's slim, because one, there's 50 states. In 50 states, there's millions of kids who grew up. I was one of the kids who want to be an NBA player. Well, guess what? To be even recognized, first off, you have to be the best person in your high school in your state. That's number one. I'm start from the bottom. So high school, you got to be number one in your state. Think about this. How many high schools is in a state? I'm in Georgia. How many high schools there is? There's a couple hundred. There's a couple hundred high schools here. And then on top of that, once you become the number one ranked person in your high school in the state of Georgia, then you gotta go to college. And now there's many colleges, but on top of that, you have to be one of the top players in college. Think about this, people. A lot of people trying to get to college. There's already players there playing, but you got to be the top player in college. And then once you become the top player in college, then you might be able to be the number one pick in NBA. But you got to understand, there's millions of kids. Not kids, I'm going to say young men who want to be in NBA, who want to be superstars. So, yes, if you're talented enough, you might have the opportunity. But let's be honest here. I'm about 6 foot, 5'11". Yeah, I'm going to go with 6 foot. I like 6 foot sound much better. But anyway, most men, the average height man in America is usually between the size between 5'8" to 5'11". That's usually the average height for most men. So once you hit that percent where you over 6'3" and up, you have a higher chance to be looked at as far as being in the NBA. Now, granted, we do have small players who make it, but Iverson was what? He was either 5'11", 6 foot, but Iverson was one of the best players in history when you talk about the player that size. I mean, you had Muggsy Bogues, Nate Robinson. You can name almost maybe all the players who are under 6 feet. You could probably name all in your hand, 6 of them, out of millions and millions of players who played in the NBA. So the point I'm trying to make is that, yeah, that's a route you could go, but that's slim. It's a slim chance to get it. So everyone can't be an NBA player. Everyone can't be a rapper. And on top of that, you don't want to be a rapper because the rapper is not when you think about the community of the industry, it's not owned by black people. It's owned by the white people. It's owned by their platforms. They're there, they push out there where they want it to change. So yes, we as a black people, we need to come together and think of how we can make a change for the black community and the black agenda. And it starts with education with the kids. It comes to the fact that, like, well, I have 2 kids. I have 8. My son will be 7 January. Aquarius season coming up. That's what it is. But anyway, my goal as a father is that, my job is before they graduate high school, my goal is for them is to have the skill. Because at the end of the day, the skill is what pays the bills. Say that again. Skills pays the bills. I'm not going to set my kids up. If they want to go to college, cool. But I'm not going to set them up where they go to college and get a piece of paper that really doesn't mean anything or do anything, and they're in debt. You're back in the same cycle as slavery. College debt is the new slavery. People don't understand that. They teach you about going to college and getting degrees, getting a master's, all this, so you can have a better life. But they don't tell you that when you graduate with that master's, bachelor's, PhD, whatever case may be, you have over $100,000 in debt. And then when you first get the job, unless you know somebody, because it's real, it's not what you know, it's who you know. If you can't get into the position or in a job where you can right at the top get in the right place and get to make great money right away, you're going to be starting somewhere at maybe entry level or maybe higher because you have the degree. But you're getting paid, it's not going to be close to what you're going to have to pay back in student loans and student debt. We talk about this on the top team on student forgiveness. Check it out on the top team. But when you look at this debt, so the reason why I say it's another way to put you in debt. Think about this for a second. If you want to start a business right now, I don't care if you went to college or not. If you want to start a business right now, you go to the bank and you say, hey, I need $20,000 loan so I can start a business. More likely, you're not going to get it. I mean, unless you're an adult who's been working, you have credit established, yeah. But I'm talking about somebody straight out of high school. If you want, straight out of high school. I'm going to go that route. Straight out of high school. If you want to start a business out the gate and you ask for $20,000, they're going to say no. But they be quick to give you over $100,000 student loans to go to a university for 4 years. Let that marinate for a second. Because the auditor is going to bring you back in the same circle to quick to give you over $100,000 student. Sorry about that. But bad. So yes, so that's what I'm getting at, is that the whole systematic. So when I say, once again, skill pays the bill. You teach your kids to learn a skill, it's going to pay the bills. Because as we're in right now, it's 2020, we're in a pandemic. I've been working home remotely since March. I am blessed to be able to do that. But one thing I did realize is that, you know what, for 2021, I need to do something different. You're like, why you something different? You working right now, you doing good. Yes, but my job was able to allow me to do that. The point I'm trying to make is that the companies, America just lets you know that if they really want to shut stuff down, they can. Because there's people right now who've been home and who had to figure out how they don't get food to eat because the system said, hey, you should be home, you can go to work. So you need to really think of a second, third, fourth, fifth, multiple income stream. Regardless, if I know we all heard this over the decades, over the years, that it's good to have multiple income streams if you want to be a millionaire. Forget about being a millionaire. If you want to be financially secure for you and your family, you need to have multiple incomes or streams coming in. Because right now, any given moment, my job can call me and say, hey, we lost a lot of money this year, because the pandemic happened and we got cut back and we thank you for your service, sir, but we got to let you go. Boom. But guess what? I still got my mortgage got paid, gas, light, water, rent, everything, wife, kids. I still got to take care of that. Without having another income coming in, guess what? I'm in panic mode. Now I got to run and try to get a job. Oh, yeah, it sounds good, but you think about this. Right now, there's millions, and I mean millions, of people who's currently unemployed at this moment and who's currently looking for a job. So whatever job I'm trying to go to and do, guess what? They're trying to do the same thing. So there's a big line of people trying to do the same job because everyone, got bills, got paid. That's why it's so important that we need to, as a black community, come together to create our own resources. So when they decide they want to shut stuff down, okay, you can shut down on one. I mean, I got my other business over here that's going strong. This is the things that we need to come together. And the guy was like, so what can we do? I mean, well, so you guys complain about, what's happening. Well, what is the solution? Solution number one is first understand that one, there is a problem with the black community. And number two, number one, understand there is a problem with the black community with the systematic racism and prejudice that we deal with on an everyday basis. That's number one. We need to understand that. And and the fact that, and number two, we need to be on the same page. I don't care if you came from Africa, you came from Jamaica, if you're born here in America, doesn't matter. You need to understand when they look at you, regardless of where you're from, you're still a black person, black man, black woman. We need to come together and understand that there's a problem. I understand that everyone has different trauma. I'll never dismiss anyone's trauma, but I'll never say, oh, your trauma ain't nothing compared to my trauma. Me living in a war zone is not compared to you starving at home, eating crackers while roaches run around your house all day. You being mistreated by friends and family, not friends, family. That's trauma right there. There's people right now dealing with trauma based on family trauma. Understand that, people. This is real. This is what a joke. This is not a joke. This is real. You understand what I'm saying? We need to understand that. Number three, honestly, if we want change to happen in America for a lot of people, it got to start home with the kids. We can no longer use the excuse of, it's just been passed down through the family and it's something been, if it's something is going on and and your grandmother had to deal with it, your mother had to deal with it, and now you dealing with it, now you have kids. But guess what? You know what's going on now. You have the opportunity now to make a change. You can break the cycle. Understand that. You could be the first. When you look at these big companies out there, it started with somebody. You think about this. Puff Daddy, Sean John. He was in corporate America working for somebody. He said, you know what? I'm going to break the cycle and do my own thing with the knowledge and skills that I learned. See, skills, knowledge, he learned. He probably went to school, but I don't think he got graduated. But regardless, his story, look it up. He did his own thing. The man's a billionaire now. Billionaire. Someone has to break this cycle. And I'm beyond with you. I mean, we could look it up. I don't know, but it's a slim chance. But Sean John maybe, take away him, he might be the only one in his family that's a millionaire when you think about it. So guess what? What he did? He broke the cycle, and now his family has generation wealth going for him. He had to make the sacrifices to do what he wanted to do so he could be set for life and his generation. Even when he's long gone, his brand, Bad Boy, is still gonna be there. His son's probably gonna still run, and then his son's sons has kids. It's a generation that's gonna keep going on. But someone has to break the cycle. Knowing that there's a problem that's been going on in the community doesn't mean you keep doing it. Hell, me personally, my dad died at a young age of 40 something of 45, high blood pressure. Okay? Now, oh, blood pressure is something hereditary, with black folks. No, it's not hereditary. What's hereditary is what is the food that we constantly eat all the time. When you're eating the fried chicken with the extra, fried chicken, and then you're getting the fries with the extra salt on it and the hot sauce. Those foods are still good. I still eat them, but it's not moderate. Now I'm doing more research to learn how to keep my body healthy, my blood pressure low, drink more water, exercise, and doing those things because I know that my my mom's doing better. She had it, but she got her health together. My brother has it. He's working on his health as well. So yes, it is something that can be passed down. But when you don't take care of your health, your body, yes, it can happen, but it's not hereditary. So what I'm doing here as an example is I'm breaking that cycle. And breaking that cycle is taking care of my health, drinking water. So my son and my daughter don't have to deal of the fear of possibly having high blood pressure, especially at a young age. I'm in their life and just getting them together. So when they get older, that'll be something that just something my son will never have to say, oh yeah, it's hereditary. My dad had it, so I'm gonna get it too. No, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. That's why I did something different to make a change. So, yes, once again, that'll give you an example of what it must start with the youth. It must start with the kids. You must get your kids educated and get them involved and teach them about things that you didn't learn about. I didn't learn, I was youth. It must start with the kids. Sorry about that. For knowledge-wise, when I speak on this, politics. Yeah, I knew about it, but did I really go into it to really focus on it? No. But now that I'm older and I understand what's going on, you want to jump in here, twin? I see you. Hold on for a second, bro. Bro, gonna jump in here, and I'm sorry about that, people. I lost train of thought there. Hold on, let me get my brother here. Then is he here? 1 second. And yes, people, this is live stream on YouTube as well. If you want to get in the chat room, just jump in. All right, I sent it to you, bro. But yes, I sent. It starts with the kids, and make sure your kids are educated and know what's going on, so they can pass on the knowledge and skill and wealth, so they can be better as young men and young women. What's going on, twin? Twin, what's going on? How you doing, sir?
No, not much. Give me 1 second, bro. Give me 1 second.
Okay. So yeah, that's number 3. Number 4, we just need to come together. When I say come together, we all just need to unite. And regardless of how someone may feel about what's going on, once we acknowledge that we are together on the same plate, then cool, let it be. Let's come together. It's okay to agree to disagree, but understand there's an end goal that we're all working towards to be on the same page. That's it. And then number 5, black men and black women, you need to keep the house together. You need to keep the foundation together. That is the number one thing that they implemented how to destroy the black community, is separating the man and the woman from the house. You need to have the foundation of the black man and the black woman in the house working together to have a better generation to teach your kids. I mean, we talked about this on the chat team last episode. Who benefits more of the black family separated? We broke this down. So if you don't know, go to the chat team podcast, and the episode's there, and we break it down. But what's going on, twin? How you doing, sir?
Not much, but I like your approach about a lot of the information that the children aren't using is because it's not repeated. What I mean is it's called muscle memory. When you go to a job, I don't care what job it is, if they starting you out like say $15 an hour, they may not think that's a lot of money for that job. But if they stay there a year and they get a quarter raise, but they call it 15%. I don't know how they do it. I never probably stayed long enough, but they give you that percent. You look at that percentage, you're like, what is 15%? of my annual, hourly wage. And that's the tools that we don't have. We don't know that we can fight for that max. But we don't even, when you go to your first interview for your raise, you didn't even know there was a max. You was just happy to get a raise.
Or happy
You
to
see
get a
what I'm
job,
saying?
or just happy to get a job. You know what I'm saying? I got a
So
job. You don't
when you
care, and they
think about,
pay the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? But you could have went in and asked for a certain amount of dollar.
yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
you figure when you talk about Congress or political or any tools like that, that's the same thing again. Oh, you can't vote till you're 18. Well, you might not have voted till you were 24, but you voting now because of Trump. You voted in 2016 when you were just 18 because you thought he was funny. You saw The Apprentice. Uh, you liked that stuff about him. But then after 4 years of it, you started liking about hearing your parents talk about heritage because as a kid, you grew up hearing stories about heritage. This president started bringing up basically things that, every once in a while, parents, Caucasian parents, a lot of times, they always say, why do we have to hear about Black History Month? So you figure we alienate ourselves for 30 days, the news, all kinds of different programming, history, for the other side to see us want to talk about Black History Month. And right then and there's their opportunity to basically, like we do each other, one up each other. If Malcolm X was so great, like they just did LeBron. Hey, LeBron. But I think it was a brother. I didn't even go catch the person who criticized LeBron. But the person that criticized LeBron said that LeBron James didn't read the book. Now, let's just get this straight. He's been in how many NBA finals? He's doing how many different ventures? How many students does he help make them read? Because he got endorsed just by holding the Malcolm X book. Whoever the writer is might give that school free books. See, that's how narrow-minded the Black culture is. We look at what you got in your motherfucking hand and instantly want to say, you don't know who Louis Farrakhan is. You don't know who I told you that one dude I want to say, Styles P's always say his name. He's an Indian man, and he's the first one, Gandhi. You know what I'm saying? Where Gandhi's capabilities to speak civil rights, that was his ability in the 1800s, and we use that model today. So if I have a Gandhi book in my hand right now, every Negro who heard Styles P. Gandhi and see me hold it will probably be like, he only holding it because Styles P said so. Well, that would be the same thing. That'd be the same thing LeBron James is doing. By LeBron James holding the Malcolm X book, he just got people who wasn't thinking about Malcolm X, his movement, his direction, his lifestyle, his agenda. Now you're like, hold up, where's our Black movement at? But what we do instead as Black people, we move off of that real quick. It's Christmas. That's it. That's what's more important. It's Christmas. I ain't got time to be taking nothing serious right now. I don't care that I'm about to create a credit debt. I don't care if I'm about to disappoint somebody. I don't care that I'm not giving Jesus the praise because it's his birthday. It's not Christmas. I like how when we grew up, we was taught that it's just another day, boy. Because now as I got to deal with my second home, my second family, I can't kill their Christmas. You know what I mean? Because that's what they were taught. You know what I mean? I would like to put a wrinkle in their stuff, go in the closet and take all their stuff back and put it back in my bank account. But I know it don't work that way. You know what I mean? For kids' sake, let the kids be kids. But these adults, we're not breaking it all the way down like that. We're not telling the adults like, look, man, it's just you and your girlfriend in the house. There ain't no kids. Why y'all talking about Christmas? Why don't y'all go work at a food bank or something?
I mean, you're hitting the point there, especially when you talk about how, like I said, when LeBron hold a book up, they'll criticize him like, oh, he probably didn't read it. Once again, and then it'd be from our own people who would say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you won't hear a white person say, oh, LeBron didn't read it. No, they might think it, but they're not going to say it. But the Stephen A's and other Black people in the media, oh, he didn't read it, he just holding it up. And then the AKA yes men, you know what I'm saying? They feed into that because they're being, and I talk about the yes men. If you don't know what yes men is, go back in my catalog of Twinsinc podcast. I gave a whole breakdown on yes men. But they take whatever the words being told to them. They only use critical thinking to think about what's being said or what's being presented. I mean, example, the man is using his platform. LeBron has one of the biggest platforms out there, and why shouldn't he push certain narratives, right? Or I mean, like you said, how many kids did he put through school free, and then going to college? How many?
Do I need a book deal or not? Do I need a book deal or not? I think I would need a book deal if I was a school owner. I
Right.
think that, I mean,
No, go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
just saying, if I wore tennis shoes, don't I need shoe deal?
Right.
If I'm a school, don't I need a book deal?
You need all that.
But as soon see, black folk don't understand. We need endorsements. We need us to stick together and be like, that's a good product. Even though we know this makes our shit fall out our head. But we got to turn face and be like, we got the best lotion. Why do we sell black soap? Why do we get one little Caleb store and there'd be 500 stores surrounding him? But that'd be the only store with the Muslim oil, the Muslim, the incense. But then you go find one Unimart, 16 on the corner, and they're all owned by Indians. And they got the same thing in it. Even better yet.
No, that's fact right there. And because that's another conversation I had when I was in the Clubhouse application this African guy talked about other company or other people or races come to America and they can open up business and all that. I'm like, but do you understand that if you're an immigrant who came to the States, they give you that off rip? You know what I'm saying? Did you understand that?
Off rip and tax exempt. Hold on.
Yeah. But then if you're here in America and you're black and you try to open a business, why I just say no? Not at all. But if we go to college, oh yeah, I'll give you $500,000. I'll give you $100,000 to go to college.
But Trump just said it wasn't fair that the Mexicans or the immigrants can get $1,800 for a stimulus, but you couldn't. How ridiculous does that sound?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They get tax exempt for 7 years if they want a business.
Yeah, that's real.
But why you think the gas station owned by the same guy for 5 days, then 5 days later it's another guy in there? Yeah, they got to make deals, man. We ain't here long. Hey, in some countries, America comes over as a capitalist, opens a sock company, lets them have an interchangeable building, sells socks, leave, don't pay any taxes on the socks, and America capitalizes on all those free socks being made, like those commercials you say, every sock you buy, we'll give one away. Yeah, that's one of those capitalized Indonesian companies that America has capitalized on. Yeah.
That's all facts. People look it up. I mean, like I said, so what I said something earlier today, when I first got on, was talking about how the black communities don't have enough resources. I mean, if you drive through a black neighborhood right now, and then once you're in the middle of that black neighborhood, you don't gotta stay there. I'm saying just drive there, but then head out to the closest Walmart, head out to the closest gas station, head out to the closest alcohol, and find out which ones are closer. Find out how far away is the jobs. And
check cashing stuff.
Right, check cash and all that. Find out how far away the jobs is. And when I say jobs, I mean, like I say, even if it's McDonald's, how far away is it? And also, is there transportation? Is there buses for them to get to where they need to get to? See, but if you go to the white neighborhoods and you do the same thing, everything seems much quicker and closer and convenient. I can walk around the corner. Oh man, Walmart about a mile here from where I live. But when I was in Pittsburgh and in Clarion, how far was Walmart? I get on 51, had to go. Yeah, it was long.
45 minutes.
Right, it wasn't 5 minutes. It was far.
45.
Oh, 45. Right. So
5 minutes.
So that once again, it comes back to resources. So once again, like I said, on the top of the black agenda, those are things you need to think about when you think about the black community and why we are struggling so much.
This is what we're struggling from, bro. Our introduction is too strong. We need to bring it down 250,000%. Do you know white people just walk up to you and shake your hand and say hi instantly?
Yeah.
Period. That's all I can say. That's the problem right there. How do you think Verizon, can you hear me now? It's not motherfucker, can you hear me now? Bitch ass nigga, can you hear me now? It's not ignorant. It's not sustainable to be rude. It's like what Game said in his documentary when he first got famous. You can't be a killer and a businessman. It's impossible.
You said can't be a killer and a businessman at the same time?
We need to notch it down. White folk, you go to their establishment. Hey, how you doing today? Welcome to Firehouse Subs. How
Listen,
simple is it to say welcome to Firehouse Subs?
and honestly, and still on the topic on the agenda and with things to be done in the resources. Listen, Dr. Boyce Watkins. If that's somebody, if I say that name to you and you don't know who that is, but then you're not ready for change. You're just not ready for change. Just not ready for change. The book of Power Economics. If you don't know about that, you're not ready for change. If you don't know anything about the Ice Cube contract, if you haven't read the contract for Black America, if you haven't read that, you're not ready for change. And I'm not saying you took piece of snippets of someone's YouTube or CNN broadcast. If you haven't really sat down and looked through the contract for Black America, then you don't want change. You just want to talk. And anybody who's out there black is doing something for the black community, if you haven't sat down and read anything to understand what's going on, you're not ready for the change, and actually you're the problem. Keep it a buck. Everyone know this not a mystery. As far as the Black Lives Movement, I don't rock with them like that, but I understand the context of the words Black Lives Matter because they do matter. And if they want to put something together that's going to help overall black people together, okay, I'm gonna stand behind it. Now, I may not agree with everything they do and they force, but if they're doing something that's going to help the black community, guess what? I'm right behind it because we gotta support each other. We can't have two groups, Ice Cube contract for America, Black Lives Matter, and then everybody's picking sides like, oh, well, he doing this, or what he doing for the women, or he doing for what Black Lives doing for the men. It doesn't matter. If we can come together and get a foot in the door to get something to happen, cool. Because now we sitting looking like fools now because y'all gave Biden y'all votes, and Biden is sitting having a conversation talking to y'all like y'all nobodies. If you haven't seen the conversation he had with all our black civil rights leaders, then once again, you're the problem. If you don't know what's going on, listen, I'm not an advocate for Trump or Biden. I'm going to stick to the facts. Y'all was, y'all want to get Trump out the office because y'all was emotional about it. It wasn't really logical. And out of all the people I asked, why are you voting for Biden? Why voting for Trump? Whatever. Most people who vote for Biden were just like, well, we got to get Trump out. Anybody better than Trump? What? Are you serious? Is that your logic reason? Give me some why. Give me the exact reason why. And you can't say COVID. COVID, that's the most ignorant thing to say that, oh, COVID. Did he handle COVID wrong? Yes, he may have handled it wrong. But did he create it? No, if you did the research on it, COVID has been in the works prior to Trump, prior to Obama, prior to everybody. So yes, right. So yes, Barack did have a room set up to avoid this from happening. But guess what? He knew something was coming or heard about something. That's why he created it. I'm just finding the lie. Why would you create a barrier to prevent a flood if there's no flood ever gonna come? You understand what I'm saying? You knew something. Okay, it's supposed to rain like crazy for the next 30 days. I might want to get something together so I'm going to water in the house. That's the point I'm trying to make. Once again, if you know what? I want us to come together. I want us to be unified. I want change. I'm tired of going on TV and seeing all black people getting shot and killed for no reason. Bro, did you see did you hear about the black guy that got shot in Ohio? In his driveway?
Yep. Two of them.
Oh, two of them.
Walking in his house, and the other guy got shot in his driveway. They fired the dude who that shot him in the driveway. That was yesterday on Tuesday, I think.
Right. Yeah. Right. Fired him. Oh wow. Yeah. See,
they didn't arrest him.
Right. See, right? And that's the problem that I had. I said so. And when you look at the contract, when you read the contract for Black America. It's not Ice Cube, but he's the face of it. But his team put together, they give an exact breakdown to what happens to people when something like that happens. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I need you to read it. I need you to read it so you can understand it. Simple as that. I'm not going to tell you Because if you're that lazy, then guess what? You're the problem. I'm putting accountability on people. If you don't read, don't know, then you know what? I'm not talking about it. I'm not gonna argue with you about it. You're the problem. But there was things lined up. When that happens, the police officer or held more accountable. And if they pull that trigger, they could lose everything. It's crazy that I have a brother-in-law who's in the army, but it's crazy to me the discipline they have to go through when they decide to pull their holster out the gun and decide to kill someone. There's so many things they must go through mentally. You know, like, all right, if I do this, A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. And they have more restraint.
Must occur.
And they got more restraint. But then we got these cops who get, less than 6 weeks of training or whatever? I don't know exactly, but don't get enough training. And they shooting black people every day. And then the guy in the chat we're going to say is that, those times have changed. No, black people is constantly shot and killed in the street, if not weekly, monthly. I mean, it's how many days for Christmas, the holiday. How many days for this holiday, someone's father, son, brother, uncle is not there. And then guess what? Guess what? In a couple more days, bro, you're going to see on the news talking about, back in 1980, he stole a Snickers bar out of a Kmart store, and yeah, he's a felony. Or he was drinking and driving, or he did a U-turn and got a ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, here's why though. It goes back to, as soon as somebody do something wrong, we do the Tory Lanez on you. We the Rick Ross, or we the Slim Thug going after Tory Lanez. Now I get it. You rich two people attack each other. But what we, the pawn, we go to the pages of each of y'all and we choose sides because we hear, Tory Lanez attacked a woman. Mind you, if we know the streets, we don't talk about bad things. So if we don't talk about bad things, then why would there be an opportunity for Megan Thee Stallion could have set up a robbery on Tory Lanez because he's a little small guy? We don't hear that part of the story because he don't want to tell his ace. But what we do is we get all these bigger people to make the guy who doesn't sell multi-platinum records to be the less fried. But it helps them. It helps them get richer, bro. What I'm saying is they don't go and call somebody out, small business, and say, hey, small business. No, they go buy a Checkers. They go buy a Wingstop. It's already saturated. It's like looking for oil. So then when black wealth comes around, if you're not willing to go buy $10,000 pants and then stitch on them, how can you get in business with him? He wants to wear extravagant stuff. You know how GLD became famous? It's a gold place. Wiz Khalifa was buying real gold off him, but a lot of people was buying fake gold originally. Mm-hmm. So really all that custom jewelry, and by Wiz standing behind it and the kids working out of Pittsburgh, it made them famous. You know what I'm saying? And then Rick Ross, he gets involved. But what happened was Wiz picked the small fry. Other rappers picked the small fry, got the endorsement of the small fry to make their jewelry. And now look at that company. They got an office in Miami. They got an office here. What I'm saying is black folk, whatever opportunity you get, when you get a lottery ticket, don't just go buy a $19 million house and don't realize there's property tax every year on that house.
That comes back to the education piece. Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
Why don't you just go buy the whole city block? Why don't you just go buy the whole city block at Clarendon? That's going to cost you the most? $1 million? $1 million. At least you could put a Walmart there, a Family Dollar there, Costco's there, and you can make the money back off the property. And you can ride around with your loud music, selling dope. You can do whatever you want there.
Well, I wouldn't say selling dope, but I get what you're saying, though. But no, that makes sense, though. No. I agree with what you're saying. If you think about every famous, or not famous, but every rich person, regardless, right? Black person. We think about it, most of the guys grew up in the hood, right? They grew up in a location, and they all had their life stories. You looking up, they give us these side stories of how they ain't have nothing. I had to live the street life because my dad wasn't right and had no resources, so I had to eat, right? But then once you make it, listen, you don't gotta still live there, but you can create generational wealth. Like you just said, you go back home and buy the whole block and then put in fast, restaurants and business opportunities and your name and hire people to work. And guess what? You ain't gotta be there, but that's your business, and that's gonna create what? Generation wealth, because that business can keep flowing, especially in that same community. If you take care of it, get the right people in there, it'll keep going. So even when
general managers, they gonna be making money. You gonna create property managers, they gonna be making money. You gonna create an architect, they gonna be making money. So at the end of the day, why are you scared to see other people make money is the point I'm trying to say. Because the whole rat chase was, I said, what I'm saying, the whole rat chase is the illegal part. They want to take over something. You can't take over something that don't belong to you, is why I went back to that, bro. Mm-hmm. The mentality is still about taking over. All right, cool, you want to take something over. You can't take over a general manager. He got to follow the McDonald way. He got to follow the McDonald POS book. You can't take over Costco's. He got to follow Costco's POS book. So at the end of the day, not only do you need an accountant, you go get your sister to go to school to be an accountant. You go get your brother to be the bank man. Whatever you need to do to put everybody in a position you trust.
Listen,
and then start talking about generational wealth.
And listen, and I'm with you on that. And it goes back to earlier what you said about LeBron James. If you realize, if most of his friends he grew up with, he just didn't give them money and live your best life. He put them on to where they could be their own business. You know what I'm saying? He put his whole team on. And if you don't know people, look it up. See, that's another topic, but that's another example of the media trying to find ways to tear down LeBron, and they can. They hate him because he stands for us. Us mean black people, black excellence. Regardless, if you don't like him because on his court play, the way you play, a certain way you play, okay, cool. That's a style thing. But when you start attacking the man's character and everything like that, now you're getting out of pocket. Now calling the man soft and all this. I'm like, who punched Shaq? I mean, who punched LeBron in the face? Who slammed LeBron? Who punked? Who made him cry? Who made him walk off the court crying? Like you say, he's soft. How? Where? But that's a whole nother talk about the basketball stuff, because they'll go, back in the Jordan's era. Here we go with that. But listen, we're about to wrap out here the show about to end soon. But another name you should know about, and if you don't know about, is Claude Anderson. If you don't know who that is, look it up. And if you don't look it up, I'm gonna say it again. You're the problem. You don't want change. You don't want better for your kids. Because at my age, it's not about me no more. It's not about Twinsinc. It's about my little ones. I want them to have a better lifestyle, better life, better education, better knowledge, so they can make America a better place. Simple as that. It's going to start with the youth, because our generation, people are still brainwashed, and we can't. You know what I'm saying? We're brainwashed. We can't sit at the table with each other and just understand that there is a problem and we move forward. No, we're going to try to figure out, well, you didn't have it that bad, or you didn't have it that bad, and we are going to try and compare who had the worst trauma. Like, that's something to even brag about.
Compare.
You're right. You know what I'm saying? You compare, like, there's a problem. Let's work on it. Let's go. And I'll say it right now. Black Lives Matter. Make contract for Black America. They trying to do something for black people, but y'all picking sides and just figure, hey, let's rock with both of them. And once we get our foot in and get something together, then we can talk about what we want him to do, what her to do, and how we want it to work. Can we get in the door together first? We can't agree. They're sitting at us, looking at us like, oh, they can't even come together and figure out what they want to do together. That's why when the civil rights conversation Biden had, he talked to them like they was little kids. I said what I said, and this is what I said. What? I said, you see it? You see it? Yeah, look it up, man. He talked bad to our civil rights leader, Al Sharpton, and all. He talked bad to him. Like, he talked to him like those little kids.
We had to put him in their place because they ain't gonna control his White House. He's still a white man.
No, and I understand that. But see, the problem was the main problem was when Ice Cube started the whole thing of the contract with Black America. He was trying to have this conversation before anyone got elected. But guess what? Because at that time frame, we as Black America, we had more power because they wanted our votes, right? So He was trying to get his foot in the door to see. You know what I mean? It wasn't the end all be all, people. Let's be clear. Ice Cube's contract is not the end all be all, but it was the simple fact that he knew, and other people knew, that if you want something from America, you need to get it because you gotta get something because they want something from us. They want your votes, right? They want all of us to keep voting Democrat, right? They did everything. They did everything. They make it sound good to get us our votes, and when they get our vote, guess what? Oh, we don't care about y'all. I said what I said, and this is what I said. I'm the only one that did this and did that. You gotta watch it. He said, hey, I'm the only one who stopped racism and got rid of the president. I'm like, what? Yeah. You got. It's crazy. I'm gonna send the video to you. But yes, yeah. I ain't expected to be this long on this talk today, but I had to get this conversation out because the fact that the problem is if we want change, we need to come together and just move forward together and stop trying to fight each other. You know, anything you want to say before we close out here, bro?
No, you nailed it. Just work together is the key because on an even number, now we're on an odd number this year with a new president.
Yep. All right, cool. So once again, people, like I said, I'm gonna get some homework to do. You should look up Claude Anderson because he wrote a book, a powerful book, The Poweronomics, and then Dr. Boyce Watkins. He's Black First, and he's on IG as well, and he has a YouTube channel, and he posts stuff almost every day and all day, randomly, but the good topics and the great panel he have. So, you know. You can spend time. You can take a little bit of time away from watching Love and Hip Hop and other shows to get some little black knowledge into your system. Could make you think better because knowledge is power. If you want anything changed, anything done, you gotta use your brain, and you gotta teach your young generation the same thing so they can be better than you. So that's all I have today, bro. Thanks for tuning in for the show. I appreciate you popping in, man. So you know, anytime you see me live, you can always jump in, man.
I will, bro. Have a good day.
All right, man. Have a good day.
Tell the kids I love them.
Yeah.
Your wife, I said Merry Christmas.
All right, man. Happy holidays to you and your family as well. We out, people.
All right.
Later. That will be a wrap on the show today. Thank you for tuning in to the show. I really appreciate that. Please reach out to me on IG at Twinsinc. Twitter, Twinsinc as well. If you have questions, you want to be a part of the show, you can send me an email at info@twinsinc.net. You can go to twinsinc.net as well. But once again, I really appreciate the time that I was on the show today and the guests. So please come back again. I'm out.